Welcome to Informe, a social media conversation for January 10th, 2014. It's a little warmer here. It's been a little bit cold. I'm Nate Manahan.
And I'm Dustin Hickle. I'm the social media director at Paper Media.
We're going to talk about Snapchat and all kinds of things that you can do with Snapchat, some ideas. Did they do enough to their whole little debacle?
Yeah. And we're going to talk about the big boy, Facebook. We always do.
We're going to talk about Google+, Instagram, all kinds of things, a great infographic, some really good discussion, and we want to hear from you. All this on Informe, a social media conversation. Keep watching. Hey guys, it is a warmer day here in northern Indiana.
Yeah,
We're here talking social media. It has been absolutely freaking cold since the last time I recorded one of these.
Negative 13 we got to as a high for one of the days, I think. It was terrible.
Today it's, I think, going over freezing, and now the great melt off of northern Indiana.
Yeah, we're supposed to get rain this weekend, and it's just going to be a sloppy mess out there.
Yeah. What a beautiful snow this was, though. And what a great Instagram. I don't know if your Instagram feed, but all these beautiful, because the snow is so white, no one could go outside because it was so cold, so there was no dirt on the snow. Yeah. If you could get outside, and how many Facebook videos and different Vine videos of people throwing the boiling water out into the air and letting it vaporize, or what do you call it? Vaporize, and so social media kind of contextualization here. It's fun to kind of watch how people use social media when they've been a captured audience. And I was reading an article, it's not one on our rundown this week, about how much people were on social media because they couldn't leave their house. Yep. And so as long as they had power, which was an issue, unfortunately and thankfully it wasn't any of us that I know of that didn't have power. Some of us were homebound. Monday the office was a complete ghost town in here. But for the most part, people were able to be on social media. Mm-hmm. And so if they weren't even at home, the kids who were supposed to be back at school this week weren't back at school, and a lot of them missed a whole week, another week of school. Social media was a place where they were at, and Absolutely. Brands need to be there, and small businesses, you guys need to be there, figure out how to be there. So let's dig in, because what in the world can a small business do to be relevant in small social media?
Yeah.
Let's start with
Snapchat. You guys might have heard about the security breach that Snapchat had. They released somehow someone hacked and they got like 4.2 million phone numbers. That hurt Snapchat.
Look at our last episode. I said Snapchat, get your blank together. All right?
Yes.
Now, did they do it?
Looks like they did. They put together a fix for the security breach, and then they apologized. Kind of a delayed apology.
Immediacy is so important. Yeah. They are social media, and I was watching this last weekend. It was the New Media Expo in Las Vegas, and I hope in years to come we'll be out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's something I think we would fit into, and I was watching a lot of the live streams of the keynotes, and one of them, I think it was Scott Stratton, but several of them, as they came across they talked about the immediacy, needing to respond as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. If you respond to something 5 hours later, it's too late.
Yep,
you really have probably an hour. In a lot of games, you have less.
Yep.
And so Snapchat, that it took you several days to respond to this issue.
Was it a week?
Yeah.
It might have been a week.
It makes it seem like you didn't think it was important. Now, I'm sure you were working on a fix. But then say, hey, we're working on a fix. There was something PR-wise didn't seem right to me.
Yeah. And then I don't know how much they have as far as a PR team or anything, or if just, the owner, president is just kind of the PR. He seems to be the face. He's always in the media. I don't know. It seemed like he didn't think it was too big of a deal and wasn't really all that sorry, and now just kind of did it as a formality.
Well, because he got criticized for it. Because he came out and spoke about it to begin with, and Mashable and all, that's who the article we're looking at, but everyone else, Digital Trends and others, came out and said, look, you didn't apologize. You didn't say, I'm sorry I gave out 4+ million of your phone numbers. Yeah. That stuff's important to us. You have to think through if you're going to be out there. And if you're going to be the front person, the CEO, the creator, this is why when you're a small business, you have to think who's the best person to voice your message. Absolutely. And even if it's not the owner sometimes it's not. Take a step back and process it. You've got to do it quick. Immediacy is important, but you've also got to think through it, and you've got to be fast on your feet.
Absolutely. So if you guys don't have a PR person, or if you are the PR person, take notes from Snapchat, and make sure if something like this happens to you on social media. Now, you're probably not going to give away 4.2 million phone numbers.
Yeah, but you're probably not a small business who was right. But if you're watching us, it's great. And hopefully you're not. But whatever your mistake is, own up to it.
Absolutely.
Take responsibility for it and move on.
Yep.
I love this. We did a review on the Salcha blog. Make sure you're reading it. Mm-hmm. Ashley, one of our content writers, I said, hey, I found this new product. I connected actually through Twitter on watching the new Media Expo of a product called Taggled, and I said, hey, can you go look at this and then review it? She wrote a review, and I loved, as soon as we put that review up, they retweeted Salcha, and she had put a couple things that she didn't think worked well, and they said, hey, we're going to work on that and respond to that, and within minutes. That's the way to do it. Yep. They're a beta, they're a new product, they're just launching, they're from Ireland, it seems like a cool product, go check out the blog and then check out Taggled, but that's the way to do it, to make sure you're interacting, and they're somewhat small, they're like Salcha, they have a small following at this point. As you grow, make sure you grow the capability to respond quickly.
Absolutely.
Snapchat, I didn't feel like did that. I don't know whether it'll hurt them. The question is on this other article that we have here is brands are starting to try to figure out how to use Snapchat. As I've said to you guys in small business, it's something that I think can be really harnessed. It's a powerful tool. It's a great platform. But as brands use it, will that make other people skip out?
You know what? I don't know. It's so hard to tell, especially with Snapchat being so young. I think it's really going to depend on more the ads than the brands using it and how the brands choose to use it. If a brand gets people to interact with them on Snapchat, because you have to become friends with them on Snapchat. So if you're opting in that way, and you market to people well, I don't know. It could just be a really positive, strong market for brands to go out there and to interact with people because they're opting in. They're choosing to be with you. But my guess, probably not. I think Snapchat's here to stay unless they make some more serious gaffes like they did there.
And they need to figure out how to embrace brands. This article's talking about the show. I've never seen it. HBO show Girls that jumped on and is using it. What I love, one of the things they talk about is how interactive Snapchat is, because you have to hold your finger down to watch what's happening. So you've made several points to say, I want to interact with you in a brand. So if you think through how you can use that, there's a guy that I follow on Twitter that I love how he uses Twitter. It's a guy named Alton Brown. He's a Food Network host.
Oh, I love him.
And how he uses Twitter, you ever seen how he uses it?
I haven't.
So when he uses Twitter, he'll have people ask him questions, whether on email or Facebook or something. He then pulls it up on a screen and answers the question on a Post-it note, handwritten, and then takes a picture of it. And then post that picture. And it's just this interactive, creative way to do it. I've never seen anyone else do it. And I think it's fascinating. That'd be a great use of way to do something in Snapchat. Think of creative ways to use this visual information and don't just always try to sell, but create some type of community around Snapchat. Yeah. And I want to see, if you're using Snapchat and you're a small business, or really anyone, we're going to look at some brands in the weeks to come that are using it well. Mashable covers them. We're kind of playing with some ideas of some of the brands that we work with and how they could use Snapchat. I would love to hear it. So contact us, interact with us. We'd love to see that.
Find us on Twitter, because obviously you connect with people really well on Twitter. We're going to change gears to the company that offered $3 billion for Snapchat and got turned down. We're going to go to Facebook here. This article is a social media examiner. 5 Facebook marketing hacks for your website. Now, I don't know if these are necessarily hacks, like you're not actually going around to the back end of programming and but these are 5 things to make sure that you have on your website if you want to drive Facebook engagement. The big one, the first one, is visual. It's just like Snapchat. Use the right images.
Get the right size. Make sure that they're... How annoying is it when you see pixelated pictures on your Facebook stream, your news feed?
You just ignore them. You don't even see them.
Yeah. So, you've got to do that right. Everything has to be visual. Yep. If you're not focusing on how you're taking good pictures, whether that's you go out and hire a photographer, you hire a PayPro Media, you do whatever it takes, you go out and buy yourself a really nice camera or use your iPhone well. Do your imagery well. Don't put up little pieces of pixelated crud out there.
Absolutely. Just pay attention to those details, because your customers will, pretty much, more or less. I like the number 3, add a Facebook share button to your website. That's just common sense. Yeah. If you've got an article out there and you want people to share it, well, you have to give them a way to one-click share it.
As we're launching the Salcha blog this week, they're putting shares, and one of the things is you've got to have all the platforms there. And there are more and more platforms that need to be there. And it becomes a little busy, so some people are coming in with better ways to design that and how to do the share. It's easier on the mobile than it is sometimes on the computer and the main desktop pages. One of the things I think is important before we move on to this is implement Facebook Open Graph. And I'm still getting my ideas around Open Graph, but it's just like Google. It's the SEO version of Facebook.
Yeah.
Know what Facebook is scraping, how they're doing searches, so when you type into them that you've used their keywords, and that's important. So read about the data behind Open Graph. This article, we're not going to go into that. That's a long discussion.
Yeah, that's a discussion on its own.
But you should be aware of that, and if you're doing that on your Facebook page, it's going to make it more likely that people are going to somehow find you and interact with you and connect with you.
Yeah, so just be sure to read this article. There's lots of good tips here, kind of common sense stuff. If you need help with this stuff, call me at Paper Media. We can help you with that too. But let's go ahead and talk about more Facebook stories. The Wall Street Journal actually put up an article that we wanted to talk about.
Well, basically it's this, that they're going to shut down what was a controversial ad program where you could sponsor, in essence, content and posts, and it would be able to use images and pictures of people that like you to make it look like they like that content, not just you as a brand, but they like what you're posting.
Okay.
And it was extremely controversial.
Yeah.
It's been going on since 2011, and they've been sued. There's a $20 million settlement in the class action lawsuit that's going on, and they're coming out and saying over the next few months we're going to be pulling that down and it's going to lose that opportunity.
Yeah.
Facebook is a pay-to-play platform.
Yep.
If you want to be on Facebook as a brand and you want to use it in multiple ways to get your cross channels, to get your information off to customers or users or whoever your clients that you're connecting with, you're going to have to, in a lot of ways, pay to play.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
these ads, knowing how these ads work is important. In the months to come, we'll be recording episodes, not so much on the Informe, but some things probably in the Marketing Blitz line of shows here in Salcha, where we talk about specifically how do you create good Facebook ads.
Yeah,
there's already some great articles on the Salcha when we get that launched that they're writing about how to actually create practical ads and what to do. They're constantly changing their system, and it's just important to know if you're running Facebook ads, that's going to end. They put a blog post up. This links to it. This is a Wall Street Journal article.
Yep.
It's a Wall Street Journal blog that'll link to the Facebook blog. That you can just live in this the circular
keep on
world.
going down.
Just go from blog to blog. However, no, you're going to have to pay to play.
Yep.
Know how to pay to play is important.
Yep.
Use your money in the most effective way. We're here to help, whether it's Salcha or PayPro Media.
Yep.
We would love to help you in any way we can.
Absolutely. Let's talk Google Plus.
You love Google
I
Plus.
love
You're
Google
digging
Plus.
into Google Plus.
I'm big into it, and I tell you what, I think we've talked about this a lot, not on the show necessarily, but if people would go and use Google Plus, they'd love it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many features. It's just, I mean, communities are incredible. Google Hangouts, everything. I mean, just overall the whole platform. I just love it. But unfortunately, this Mashable article is titled "Sorry, Google Plus, we still won't come to your party," and it's kind of a bummer because I really like it. It's funny, it goes into kind of a comical humor sort of. If you invited a bunch of people to a party and forced them to come to a party and then started bragging to a bunch of other people about how many people you have coming to your party, but you forced them to RSVP, nobody cares. And that's kind of, I can see why they're saying that about Google, because if you have a Gmail address now, you have to have a Google Plus account. And to comment on YouTube videos, you have to have a Google Plus account. And they're kind of harnessing and forcing people into using Google Plus rather than drawing them to it and giving them reason to get excited about it.
Now, Mashable is kind of doing it's an op-ed piece by Chris Taylor. Good article, well written, witty, put together. I would tend to say I think their strategy is going to work. I think it's a long play. I think they have a longer goal. I think Google, more than any of the other tech companies, thinks long.
Yeah.
You know, they are building robotics, whether it's all the companies they bought that are doing robots, they're doing self-driving cars, they're flying balloons over New Zealand to do internet. They have all these things. None of those things are making them money.
Right.
And they believe social is extremely important. It's important to what they do as their main money maker, which is search and ads.
Yep.
And they have a long play here, and I think it will work for them eventually. Now, I don't know if it's not in the next 6 months, but I think you're going to see a movement, and it was a smart move. The whole YouTube comment thing, YouTube comments were crazy. Yep. YouTube is it didn't change the interaction with the videos, it just changed how the comments are working. And it'll gradually, my Gmail account has that little bell up there. Yeah. Why is there a red 6 up there? Yeah. 6 people interacted with me on my YouTube comment. It's going to keep providing that opportunity. Your Google account's going to become more and more important. I think 2014 prediction of the second week of 2014, Google Plus is going to make a major play. They're going to see more interaction. They have the user base because they force you into it.
Yep.
Anyone, like you said, Gmail,
you have Google Plus.
But they have so many cool features, and I think as they get a better iOS following, that's one of the issues. They do so well on their own platform, on Android. But really the world is still driven by iOS, and I'm an Android user. But the iPhone people are the first adopters of any platform, and so you have to get them using, and social has to be mobile. And their products are good. For some reason they haven't jumped into the great and the must use on the iOS platform.
But I tell you what, their iOS app, I have it on my iPod, it is gorgeous. I mean, visually stunning, easy to navigate, lots of swipe gestures that just make sense. So hey, if you have an iOS device, go ahead and check out Google Plus. I highly recommend it. You might find that you really like it.
And I think for brands, for you guys, it is an opportunity to create threaded conversations that are easier than Facebook. We'll talk. There's lots of ways to do this, but I think Google Plus is an easy, simple way to create communities and groups and self-support, and their whole help-outs ideas with their Hangouts. There's some things that Google Plus just has that other platforms have not been able to create. It's not being used by a lot of brands. It's not being used by a lot of small businesses, but I think it will. I think Chris Taylor, I agree with a lot of it. We're not coming to their party yet. We're going to show up as we start getting a little...
How can you not show up at the biggest house party on the block?
Eventually, you're just going to like, what in the world is glowing across town? And I'm going over there.
Exactly.
That's my general take. Now, I think it's a long play, and it's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to happen gradually. Here's what could happen negatively. If Google Plus makes some missteps, but they just keep doing baby step by baby step by baby step, improving their product. And if Twitter and Facebook can keep stubbing their toe, they'll be able to move in and have a little more, it's not really a market share, because they have a market share, because they can say we have a user base, but it's going to be that interaction, that engagement that they have not been able to
people
cultivate
logging
yet.
In daily and interacting with one another, and actually, the one of the big problems that we always talk about is you can post something on Google Plus, and then it's like silence. Nobody's interacting. But I think you're right. I certainly hope you're right that it's gonna blow up that way, because I love Google Plus. It's a great place to go, and they have so much good stuff to offer.
And they're doing it. And we linked to a New York Times article here that specifically talks about now you can send anyone in. They're adding little things, and there was a little controversy. I don't think it's going to be big. It just happened yesterday. We'll see. Next week we'll tell you if it became this giant controversy. To me, I don't quite understand why people are complaining. But you can now, if you've circled up with someone in Google Plus, you can send them an email, and in essence, it'll come directly and look like an email. But you don't ever know their email address, so you can't do it outside of Google Plus. So if you close your circle or say block them, then they can't do that. People are saying you're giving away our emails. It didn't make sense to me, but it just adds one. It's like a Facebook direct message or whatever else, a Twitter direct message that we're opening up. It's just another way to communicate. For brands, it's great. It's a way to like hopefully cut through if someone actually comes to your Google Plus page and sends you an email through your Google Plus page. I want people to communicate with me. I don't know what the controversy is, but they're adding little things like that. Baby step.
And now, let's be honest. If Facebook had an email client, would they do the same thing? I mean, they have your @facebook.com email address, basically, which is your messages. Google Plus just happens to have the buddy of Gmail.
And they're saying, I think Gmail, we didn't cover it, but Gmail has a whole bunch of new features. They've announced that, just kind of rolling out how they do things. And Gmail, we don't think of email as social, but it is. I mean, it's the whole point of it is I'm going to say something, you're going to say something back. That's social.
And really it's convenient because you'll be able to know what's going on your Google Plus page probably more readily. I like it. Personally.
I think we'll see it. Last one, let's talk Instagram and see kind of what we think here. This is our last article before we go to our infographic and kind of close it up. Instagram came out with Instagram Direct, and this is a Small Biz Trends article, which I love reading their blog. If you don't read it, make sure you connect with it. We often retweet some of their stories on our Salcha Twitter. Follow us on Salcha Twitter and some of the other platforms that we're coming out on. But this is 6 ways to use Instagram Direct for e-commerce marketing. We were just playing around with the idea. In fact, I sent my first Instagram Direct while we were sitting here in our pre-show. Someday we'll stream our pre-show because it's really exciting, Dustin. I have great things to say. But I think Instagram Direct, if they could get groups in there, for some reason you can't like pre-sort groups. But this article is talking about all these ways that you can connect with your consumer to sell your product.
Yeah, I mean, this article, first of all, is really cool. It tells you, gives you kind of a simple walkthrough of how to use Instagram Direct. So if you've never used it before, there's kind of a walkthrough here, first, next step anyways. But the 6 things that they recommend, and you can get creative. First of all, get creative and get outside the box, but this is a good place to start. Hold a contest. This is kind of cool. Post a product photo with instructions stating that the first 10 people to comment on the photo will receive a direct message from you with detailed information about how to enter a contest. That's a great idea. 10 people to comment, and then you say, hey, you can win a $50 Amazon gift card because you were the first 10 to comment. Here's a link. Go sign up. And then you get their information as a lead. You get them engaged. I mean, all these different things. All the things that you want. You want to have people engaged, and you want to drive them in and draw them in, and this is a good way to do it. That's a great idea.
And there's brand research. They talk about targeting via their demographics.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, if you are doing something that you can identify, this group of people will really like it. Whether it's a specific Afghan that you made, or a specific brand muffin that you've created, or a new part that you're going to put on a muffler. If you have a certain group of people that you know are going to respond to that, and you want interaction with them, choose those people, send it directly to them, and not make it a public, and make them feel special. There's some things, Instagram Direct will provide a specialization that'll make people feel, and I want to know how people are using it. It's fairly new. We're down probably 2 months now.
Yeah, probably.
I sent my first Instagram Direct this morning. It's not something I'm using readily as a person.
Me either.
That's why I think it's more even interactive for the brand. This is a great brand tool.
Absolutely.
Instagram, give us groups.
Yeah,
give us
let
groups.
us
Help
lists.
us.
Let's make lists.
Somehow, that one seems like a no-brainer.
And hey, another thing, Instagram, if you're watching today, give us a way to log in to multiple accounts like quickly. Like the Twitter app, I can log into. I can be Paper Media and myself and anybody else I want to just by clicking a button. That'd be really nice and convenient.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's all kinds of really cool stuff. You can reward your top followers with exclusive sales and promos. So you just send like the 10 people who come in for breakfast every morning, and you know them by name. You can just get on there and say, hey, 10% or 15% off your breakfast this morning. It's on us. Send them an Instagram direct message. How nice is that? You wake up in the morning, you get a little buzz on your phone, and you know you're coming for breakfast anyways, so you get a little discount. Just drives a little bit of loyalty. All kinds of cool stuff. I like the last one though. We kind of do that on our Paper Media Instagram, more of a behind the scenes type thing. Just pictures of people working, what it's like to work here, us having fun, eating, whatever it is, having birthday parties. Give them a behind the scenes of what it's actually like to be a part of your company.
And if you're a client-based company and you're working on their product, then what if you send we're working a picture of you working on whatever you're doing for them?
Absolutely.
And send it in an Instagram Direct. I'm just coming up with
that.
There's so many ways to use that. So let's finish up with our infographic of the week.
Cool. This is a really neat one. Just found it this morning actually. So the social media war, it's called. Check it out. It's on Social Media Today. Mark Lerner, excellent job. It kind of just it shows how social media has grown and changed from like 2005 to now, and then in between adults and teenagers. Really cool just to go ahead and take a look at it. Why don't you tell me your favorite stat?
Well, I think what caught me I'm not surprised. I know this number, but those who are over 65, on 43% of them are using it, and it's going to quickly be over 50. And I wouldn't be surprised by the second quarter of this year, 50% of those over 65 are using social media. That means that's a growing trend. One, it's changing because the all internet users is 89%. It's changing how the whole system works, and that's why people are leaving Facebook and things. And that's I think where most of those over 65. But if you're a brand that targets at older people, you can no longer say, well, I need to be in the newspaper because they're not on social media.
Right.
That's changing quickly.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be behind, and you're going to be wasting money on some old media. It doesn't mean you don't always, it's not a don't use newspaper, don't use billboards. But simply saying, I'm not going to use it because my demographic's not on social media. There isn't a demographic that doesn't have soon to be a majority of them on social media. So there is no excuse.
Right. So take that to heart. Try it out. Check out, like you said last week, maybe take a little of the money that you spend on your Yellow Pages ad and shift it to social media. And
or all of the money you spend on Yellow Pages. Oh, sorry, Yellow Pages. You're never going to be a sponsor of Informe. All right. Okay, go ahead.
I like this is a list of the top 6 social media platforms for American adult internet users.
It
Facebook.
just sounds American adult. They also this infographic's great.
Yeah.
But I always prefer the word gender over sex because
Yeah.
I just keep reading this and I'm like, by sex, social. That just doesn't read right.
Sound right.
Just a tip to those who put this together. I prefer the word gender over sex.
I absolutely agree with you.
Okay, but go ahead.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr. I'm shocked by Tumblr. I'm not a Tumblr user. I saw an article Yahoo's going to use something special with Tumblr, but the top 5.
Yahoo owns Tumblr, and I think it is relevant. And this is a whole nother show because I watched the Marissa Meyer. This is how geeky I am. I'm paid to do this. I'm paid to be geeky on the ad stuff. But I watched the CES Marissa Meyer keynote, and they rolled out Yahoo ads onto Tumblr. And Tumblr has never monetized in a great way. And so this will be a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Another place for us to place our ads, to tell our stories. Tumblr is a growing brand that's sometimes kind of a quiet thing that's going on. I kind of think of Tumblr as old school because I had a Tumblr account and then now I don't use it.
Yeah.
I need to go back and assess that, and their user base is growing. So
Yeah,
that's a
absolutely.
whole other topic. But
Maybe I should check out Tumblr. I haven't checked. I mean, I'm Twitter, Google Plus, Facebook, Pinterest, kind of. That's Instagram. Those are my 5. And then there's a whole bunch of other like teen alternatives. The top ones for teens, teen alternatives. More or less, this right here gives you stats and places that are and ways for you to target what you're going after. I mean, if you're going after teens for your marketing, there are 5 that are really good here, and then 4 alternatives, new ones, adults. It doesn't matter the age group. This has tons of stats, so check it out. It'll hopefully help you target your social media even a little bit better than you already do, probably.
And that's what's really important is that you're figuring out how to actually get the work done you want done.
Right.
And this is going to help you do that. So that's why we're here each week.
Yep.
We want to create a dialogue in 30 minutes or less. We try to make it less than 30 minutes. We try to make it something quick that you can interact with. We try to make it incredibly practical. We're getting better at that.
Yeah, I think so.
And we hope that as you guys start seeing this and interact with us, and we can create a dialogue, whether it's on Twitter or on the comment section on YouTube or emailing us.
Yeah.
I'm at NK Manahan on Twitter.
I'm at Dustin Hickle on Twitter, at Paper Media on Twitter. I'm there too, so I'll answer any questions at either one of those.
Yeah. And at Solcha.
Yeah,
right now
absolutely.
I'm managing the Solcha a lot on the Twitter, but we have a Facebook, we have other Google+. There are other people that are interacting with that. We have our content writers writing more and more blog posts, about 3 blog posts a week. They have 400 plus articles. We have all kinds of shows, and we're going to be launching this product sometime in 2014. I'm not going to give you the exact date, but I can promise you this, it has really good content.
Absolutely.
And it's focused on helping small businesses, and as we like to say, our dream is to help small businesses grow. And I think that's all of our dream.
I think so.
So,
Absolutely.
This has been another Informe for January 10th, 2014, and we're so glad you joined us today. Thanks for hanging in with us, and hope you'll join us next week and leave a comment. Have some fun with it.
Yeah. Get to know us and connect with us. We'll see you later.